Hi everyone, in today's video we have a quick review of the brand new e.l.f. Camo bronzer and contour. I picked up 3 shades and I'm going to demonstrate each of them for you today. But they also released 3 additional shades to add to the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush collection, and I picked up those 3 shades and I'm very excited to try this one, which is a lilac shade. So if trying these new products sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. I am very aware that there's been a lot of e.l.f. on my channel recently. I think it's because they've had a few new releases that have been staggered, but people always want to see a review, and I'm happy to review their products because you know that I'm a big e.l.f. fan. This is not sponsored, it's not an ad, I've not been paid. I bought all of these products with my own money. So just a quick look at what these claim to be. The bronzer contour is available in 10 different shades and they retail for €8 or £7 or $7. They claim to be a liquid bronzer contour hybrid which creates a long-lasting, sun-kissed and sculpted look with a natural finish, and pairs well with our liquid bronzer and contour duo brush, which is new, which I did pick up. So it's double-ended. You have a contoured end, which is to apply the contour, and then the other side is still dense but better for blending. So that retails for €10, or I would imagine £9 and $9. There is a distinction between contour and bronzer. So a contour is supposed to sculpt the face, and usually they are cool toned. You will often see a grey undertone there because it's supposed to mimic those natural hollows of your face. But bronzers, on the other hand, are generally warmer to give you that sun-kissed look. I think that sometimes you can use a bronzer and it can do a great job at contouring your face, and sometimes you can find a contour that is very warm and that will give you that sun-kissed look. So let's kick off with some swatches of the bronzer contour. So I picked up the shade light, light to medium and medium. So this is the first one, which is the shade light. Next we have the shade light to medium. So I think already you can see the difference between those two. So I feel like light is looking very warm, but I think that I would call that a neutral. And then lastly, we have the shade medium. So light, light medium and medium. Very, very different, but I really doubt that you could use this one as a true bronzer, but we're going to give it a go today. And here are the new blush shades. So over here we have Copper Etiquette. Then in the middle we have Cheeky Lychee, and then over here we have Bold-Faced Lilac. So we will be trying on each of these individually. So we'll kick off with the shade number 3, light. I don't usually pop things on directly to my face, but I think just for the purpose of the review so that you can see it, we'll go in on the face. So I feel like this looked a little bit warm. And then I'm just using the contoured end of the brush. So let's do it on this side a little bit higher up where you would ordinarily pop a bronzer. And for that, I'm going to use the other end. It blends really, really easily and it's very, very buildable. So on this side, I applied it more like I would a contour. So just where the edge of my cheekbone is. So you can see that it looks a little bit more sculpted on that side. And here I used it as a bronzer. And yeah, I think it's done quite well on both sides. I do think that there is a risk that this shade could look a little bit muddy on me just because it is too light for me, I would say. That's why. So I guess you can make your mind up which side you think looks better. Let's pop a little bit on the forehead. I have to be careful on my forehead because I have hyperpigmentation. And let's pop a couple of dots around the jaw. If you can see here, my face just looks a little bit more lifted, a little bit more sculpted. Right, I think we're going to pair that with Copper Etiquette. So again, I'll pop this onto my cheek so you can see it. And I'm going in with my Rare Beauty blush brush. So I've put more on than what I usually would so that you can see the shade. So this is Copper Etiquette. It doesn't go with the rest of my makeup today, I know that. But this is described as a rosy copper, and actually I think it's a beautiful blush shade for fall, which makes sense as to why they've released it now. If you can see past my eyeshadow today and just look at it for what it is, it's very warm, it's very cozy, it's very beautiful for this time of year. It's really, really nice. So that is Copper Etiquette with number 3 light bronzer contour. Okay, I'm going to remove this and I'll be back in a mo. So I've reapplied and I'm just cleaning off the brush. A quick tip that I learned from Rebecca over at Not Fit for Print Beauty is if you want to clean your brushes really quickly, go in on a microfiber cloth and it will take off that product for you. It works really, really well, honestly. Such a good tip. She has an amazing channel. Go check her out. I will link it below. So we're going in now with number 4, light to medium, and I'll do the same thing as I did last time, so apply it as a contour on one side and as a bronzer on the other. So this is definitely a lot deeper. It looks a lot more cool. So I'm just kind of tapping it into the skin. Definitely has more of a cool undertone, I would say, which will be very interesting to see if it works as a bronzer. I'm just going to put some more on. Blends so nicely. Okay, right, let's do this side. I don't love that side. Again, it's looking a little bit muddy. Let me just do the rest of the face. I would definitely say that the finish of these bronzers is not dewy, it's not completely matte, it's just really natural. Alright, so just so you can see the difference, this is the side that I used it as a contour and this is as a bronzer. I think it works really well as a contour, this shade, because it's more on the cooler side. As a bronzer, I don't love it. It looks a little bit muddy on me, personally. That is the risk you run when you are using something as a contour and a bronzer. If something's a bit warmer, it's a bit easier to work with, but when it's more on the cooler side, when you've got more of those grey undertones, it's very hard to use it as a bronzer. I think on this side, I think it looks really beautiful. I don't love it as a bronzer though. Let's pair it with one of the new blushes. This is Cheeky Lychee, which is described as a neutral pink. I'm going to use my Refa 04 for this one. And we'll do a couple of dots. This looks a bit luminous-y, doesn't it? Oh, it's got a lot of pigment, that. Blends beautifully. Oh, that's nice. I didn't think I was going to like it when I opened it because it looks almost luminous when you open it up. Okay, I know I've got an excessive amount of blush on right now, but oh my gosh, I love that Cheeky Lychee. That's my favourite now. The only one that could pip it to the post would be the lilac shade, which I'm a little bit scared about. So that is number 4, light to medium bronzer contour and Cheeky Lychee blush. All right, let's get this wiped off and move on to the final bronzer and final blush. We're on to the final bronzer and this is the shade medium number 5. So this is interesting because this actually looks lighter than the light to medium and I'm wondering if it's just a little bit warmer. Definitely warmer than the light to medium shade. So this is number 5, medium. This is it as a contour. and that's it as a bronzer. I much prefer this as a bronzer. I don't think this is going to go with the lilac blush because I feel like it's too warm. Interesting. Right, let me pop it on the rest of the face. So what do you think? I think this is much better as a bronzer. I think if we were to compare number 5 medium and number 4 light to medium, the warmer looking one is 5 medium. This is number 4 light to medium. Great contour here and a great bronzer here. It really is down to personal preference whether you think it is truly a hybrid and can be used as both. We're moving on to the last blush now, and this is Bold-Faced Lilac, which is a lavender lilac. And I'm a little bit scared as to how this is going to go, but also excited at the same time. Let's just do 2 little dots there. And I've cleaned off this Rare Beauty blush brush. I love it. I love that. It's cool toned, but it's not too cool toned. Does that make sense? What do you think of the lilac blush? Is it a hit or is it a miss? Love it. I love the Camo Liquid Blushes. They are just gorgeous. Okay, so final thoughts on the bronzer contour. And genuinely, I think these are a wonderful product for somebody like me who doesn't really care whether their contour looks like a bronzer or the bronzer looks like a contour. 5 medium. I think it's a wonderful bronzer. But do I think it passes as a contour? Probably not. And in the same way, 4 light medium, I think it's an amazing contour. But would I use it as a bronzer? No. So I genuinely think it boils down to the shades. In terms of the actual formula, it's beautiful. It's as beautiful as the Camo Liquid Blush. No patchiness, blend like a dream. And actually, I think they are more user-friendly than the blush. I think my main piece of advice is to research the shades and try and pick one that you think could work well as both. But if you're willing to spend a little bit more money, you could pick 2 shades. One that is a little bit more warm, like number 5, and then pick one like number 4, which is more cool toned. Yeah, but that you shouldn't really have to do that, seeing as they claim to be a hybrid and they do both. So it's personal preference, really. Oh, and just a final one on the brush. I think the Duo brush is actually really, really handy and it's nice. It's the same quality as the other e.l.f. brushes that I have, and I really like it. I think you get good value for money with their brushes. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what you think about all of these products. I would love to know and hear all about your experiences if you've tried them or whether you are planning on picking these up. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye for now.